It's Drawing with Johnny.
Hello there. Hello there, friends. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Drawing with Johnny. Let's get our water going and let's start with a little warm up. I'm going to use a brush today. We're going to do some ink brushing here. Let's get some of our ink and I'm going to fill her up. Yep. All right. And what we're using is just good old regular India ink. All right. I'm going to get this a little bit wet first. And then dip it just about halfway. You don't want to go all the way in. And then give a little twist over there. And that kind of makes it a little bit sharp. We're going to start with some fish today. Is that okay? All right. I'm just kind of... I gave a few sketches for myself. So I'm kind of a little prepared today. So I think I'm just going to practice just some funny looking characters here. Yeah, that's really about it. We're going to get all sorts of shapes here. Let's get some skinny characters here. Some long fish. All right. We can kind of do some little motifs. We can kind of do something a little more silly over here. Everyone loves puffer fish. Twist. Just do some little spikes here and there. That's pretty good. Now we'll do something a little bit different here. Let's give it just like another regular old fish. And we'll just kind of give some lines. You can do a little bit of design. Hey, this one's got some character. Now let's draw something spooky. A little too much ink there. A little twisteroo. Everyone's favorite. I'll go back over and take some of this ink over here. And we'll do some quick little jagged teeth. If you know what type of fish this is, let me know. I mean, I know. Do you know? Well, it's a freaky fish. Whoa! Whew. Toys vs. Toys update. You know, one of these days, if you're watching the stream, maybe there'll be a little teaser in the stream. I've got a teaser made. It's just not ready yet. It's an anglerfish. It is. Alright, we can move on from this little creep. Let's do something also strange. Just a cool looking fish. Yeah, how about that? And we'll just kind of give it some dots. Doot, doot, doot. Alright, we've got some good fish. We're going to keep going though. We're just going to fill this page with fish. Let's go back to doing weird, goofy characters. Alright, this is pretty good. A little too much ink. Twisteroo. Alright. That's a little happy friend. Now we can kind of... We can do... Let's go over here. Do something kind of big. Almost like a big old tuna or something. I'm just getting some more ink here over on the edge. Give another little fin there. Right there. You're looking cool. We'll just do a couple more. We're running out of space. But here's another little angry fish. These fish quite common in the jungle. I'm too high up in the trees to see them. They got little sharp teeths. Little piranhas. That's right, kids. Our page is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Let's just do like a little one over here. This is like a little, it's got frills. It's a little fish. Now we can kind of do good old classic salmon style fish. Oh. You can always just add some lines and dots to kind of give a cool design. If you're ever feeling like, hey, my fish is boring, well, just add some details. See, you can come over here and just kind of do some scales. Pretty good. And let's just do one more fish. Do everybody's little favorite. Just a little clownfish. It's not the best, but you know, we're doing our best here today. these are some good fish. All right. Put this down for just a moment. You know what? Should we color some of these in? I think we should. We'll be real quick about it because we've got something special to draw today. But I'll say if you have any recommendations for any colors that you want to see the fish, go ahead and let me know. I'll put that away. Clean it properly a little bit later. Let's get one of the bigger brushes here. Get a little clean. Let's see. Let's start with this one. And we're just going to kind of go for an orange. Let's see. It's kind of an orangish red. All right. Looking pretty good so far. Let's kind of just get the brush just a little bit wet, so now we can kind of fill in those little parts on the side. I kind of like leaving a little bit open on the top and the bottom, just to kind of like a little light reflection. That's kind of fun. You know, while we're at the orange, we might as well come over to our little clown friend over here. This one might be a little too early to paint, though. We just drew it, so it might be a little bit wet. Yep, there we go. That's okay. That will adds a little character. Green? Alright, we're gonna paint a green fish. You know, let's see. I know which one. Here we go. Get this nice and green here. Alright. I'm just leaving the little top part just a little bit light. We can come back here and we can add some other colors. Give these fish some good shape. Whoa! Oh my gosh. Did you hear that? Woo! Tigers. Those tigers. Alright, we're going to come back to this green. And we're going to come over to this little salmon over here. Pretty sure. Yeah, we're going to put some green up top. Just like this. You know, we might as well just add just a little bit of green just to this character over here, just for fun. And then maybe down here, a little angry friend. There we go. And just a little bit here for Mr. Angler. It's just kind of a, you know, we're going to use this green, just a little grimy, just a little griminess. And well, let's switch it up. Let's get a different color here. Let's go for blue. See how this looks. That's not bad. That's kind of what we wanted for this little tuna. We'll get a little bit more. Kind of put it on the bottom here. We'll do a little bit, you know, we'll just keep adding some more color. Get this part up top. And you know, this is the same color blue. we're just using less water. And then, actually, yeah, a little bit less water. Just a very light color. And then we can kind of go back here, less water on the brush, but more paint. You get a nice darker color. And you just kind of water it down. And we can get just a little bit more, but you just want it lighter. Just a little bit of paint, more water. And get like a light color like that. But we'll come back, we'll add some more. It's looking pretty good. Now let's go for, let's get a little purple. Why not? Let's see, I think this is purple. Oop. That's a nice looking fish. Now let's get like a little bit of darker purple. So we'll mix a little purple, a little bit of black. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, we don't need that much. A little too much. Here we go. Pretty good. Now we can kind of come to this. I guess you could say it's like a lionfish. Let's see. Now we need the brown. A little brown. And a little orange. We can come back to the orange over here. Nice, colorful fish. We're having fun. We're having fun, right? You know what? We can kind of go. Let's see. Get dark blue, purple, maybe for this creature of the night, of the deep. Let's just kind of give a little bit of color. We'll do a little bit of purple. Maybe we can put some light on the face. How about that? Maybe we can get some yellow. Let's see how this is working. How are we doing today? Yellow. Pretty good. Great. Just make that a little glow light. It's not very glowing. He's trying his best. That's fun. I think the yellow is good for our little friend over here. Let's see. Get a little bit more water, just kind of fill it in. I think that little green is pretty nice. Maybe we can add a little blue on top. That's a good texture. Now we're having fun. And you can just kind of do some beep boop beeps, and you're good. All right. I think this is looking good for our fish. We can come back over here. Maybe just a little bit of You know, just a little bit of something for the salmon. We just needed some red in there. I think we just need a little bit of color. One more last important thing. Probably need a pencil cam for this one. All right, that's perfect. Yes. All right. Look at this. Good little warm up. Great little warm up. Very nice. Thank you for helping me with this, everyone. Let's move on to the next drawing. Okay. I was at the jungle flea market today, and all of the jungle creatures had some really cool stuff to trade and to sell. And this monkey had a really cool Spider-Man poster. And so I'm going to draw Spider-Man in the jungle. Is that okay? We're going to try it out. I'm going to do my best. We're going to do my best. We're going to do it. You know what? Maybe we can, let's be smart about this. We're going to do a little pre-sketch, and then we'll kind of ink it like they do in the comics. So we're going to have Spider-Man crawling down a tree in the jungle, and you can help me fill it in with any creatures or ideas. Let's get started. All right. I'm going to start with the head shape here. And this is just kind of rough for now. This is not looking good. All right. We got a head so far. Let's go in for a closer look. All right, so we're going to show him kind of crawling down a tree. Now I'm going to kind of do his shoulders here. Spider-Man's got a really big back. This is kind of based on kind of the older drawings. But this is I'm going to kind of do one arm, kind of going one way. And the other one, let's kind of have it reached out. You know, we can kind of give these more superhero shapes. Now I'm just kind of drawing a hand. All right. We've got something there. We got another hand here. Let's kind of do... We'll just kind of have his back leg. It's like his little hip. And, you know, I'm just kind of guessing with this foot. So, something like that. That looks okay. And maybe we can draw the other foot way back here. Well, we'll see about that foot. We'll see about that foot. All right, I think that's a pretty good start. Kind of put our tree Yeah, you know, we'll just make that the tree. All right. It's pretty good. And kind of put some more branches in here. Okay. Now let's kind of figure out where the details go. And here's his spider. Costume's kind of like that. And they got a little belt. Get those webs in there later. Alright, I guess kind of like that. Let's get these webs. They kind of just go like this, and then they go down. But he does have a little area where there's no webs, so just about until where his kind of gloves are. So this will be a no web zone. Alright, and we're just gonna kind of put these other ones here. We'll just kind of go down like this. Alright, and I know, excuse me, he's got a couple up here. And a couple down here. And these just kind of go in. I'm not trying to use too much dark pencil because the idea is to kind of color it in and then trace it. Alright, so I guess we can kind of go like this. It's good to get these out now so I know where they all go later. And you're just kind of doing little swoops. Swoop, 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 swoop. Swoop, swoop, swoop. Swoop, 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 swoop. But they all have to connect. Swoop, 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 swoop. Swoop, swoop. Swoop, swoop, swoop. Swoop, swoop. It's like doing the letter M. Alright. And we're just doing our best. If you're following along at home, you're doing great. And then we come back down here. We'll add some more M shapes. This is looking pretty good. And I know he's got some on his feet. Alright, so we'll get to his boots. We'll just kind of do some lines. And we'll get those looking good later. You know what? Let's see. Would his foot be more back this way? Peculiar. We're learning this together, everybody. I think it's a pretty good start. He's got... You always draw the muscles here, muscles there. Just kind of add some details on the trees. This just kind of makes things a little bit three-dimensional. Alright. So, we're going to try and ink it. We're going to try and do Some classic comic book inking. Let's try it out. All right. Pretty good. A little bit thin. Here goes nothing. There's the head. All right. Trying to get a good, nice point. How am I doing, everybody? We're just going to color this in. It's not perfect. One's a little bit bigger than the other, but we're going to go for it. All right. You know, we're just going to add another one there, another one here. All right. I'm kind of doing some thicker brush strokes there. All right. Now kind of go in here. I feel like once you get everything else kind of put together, it just starts to work. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think as long as you kind of just stick with it and you keep going, it'll be great. All right, that hand's nice and stretched out. Looking pretty good, everybody. I'm gonna do a little swoop there. Small little details. That one doesn't have to be perfect because that's, you know, kind of just in the back there. All right. With some little legs there. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just as long as you get the right amount of number. Alright, I'm gonna go over here, this leg. I'm gonna do this foot. Alright. I'm kind of get these webs now. If I'm quiet, it's because I'm being very careful. Do 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 do. But I'm still having a good time. Hope you're having a good time. That's pretty good. Come back over here. Alright. We're gonna just kind of wait to figure out what we're gonna do with this back leg. So for now, we're gonna come in and we're gonna do these lines here. I'm just gonna thicken up his little head here. Alright. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I'm gonna do this side now. Okay, we'll connect the dots over here just a little bit. Now we're going to kind of do our swoops. I think we should get our close-up cam for the swoops. Okay. Come back over here. Alright, and we're doing our little M shapes again. Alright, get a little bit more ink here. Go for these little fingers here. I'm just doing quick little, very thin lines. I'm trying to be as thin as I can be. That's pretty good. That's pretty thin. Now let's come back over here. Down more swoops. All right. Keep going over here. Keep going. And I'm trying to keep them about equal distance, kind of all around. Oops, sorry. Let's go down to this hand. And yeah, I'm still even doing the swoops on the fingers, but just very quickly. Alright. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I'm just kind of envisioning. You know, I think we're just gonna leave the foot out. This is pretty good. So let's move on to the tree. All right. And now I'm just kind of just doing some wiggly lines. Here we go. Let's keep it going. Trees have wrinkles in them, you know. And we can kind of move that line over to this side here. That's pretty good. Now we'll just kind of go over here. Do some more trees. We can just do some shadowed ones back there. All right. This is just a tree off in the distance. All right. Now we can kind of add some lines in the tree. But you know, let's give a cool shadow here. How about that? We're just gonna kind of make up a little shadow here. We'll do our best. So let's just kind of fill in. I know this kind of takes away some of those heavy shapes on the body, but I think it's gonna be okay. Put a little bit of shadow under the fingers there. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, we can kind of do a little bit of shadow down here too. And now we'll just kind of keep adding some lines and texture. Do some shadow back here. Don't forget about that. And kind of round this area out here. Alright, let's just kind of add a shadow there. I think that's what it needs. Nice little heavy shadow on this tree. And you can kind of add some thicker lines here. When the brush gets a little bit dry, it kind of gives a cool texture. Can only really do that with ink though. Sometimes you can with paint, so I'm just going to take advantage of it right now. It's a good bark look. And you can only do it for a little while and then it kind of just runs out. Don't want to hurt your brush too much when you're doing that. Seems like I can just take some of the ink from another part that's still drying, then you can kind of push it around. Alright. That was nice. Let's kind of just fill this in. And now we can kind of add some bushes and some plants, but not too much. We're not going to add too much. We're just going to add a little bit of stuff, just kind of hanging down. Looks like we need a little bit more ink. Alright. Just kind of adding some trees here. We can kind of add some just random stuff in the back. Alright. Feeling good about that. Okay. I think this is pretty good. I think we can start coloring. All right. You know what? As I kind of clean things up, we're going to do our favorite thing, which is wait for things to dry. Okay, that's pretty clean. Not too bad. You can see some parts are still pretty wet, but we're going to do our best to be careful. Looks like if we stay in the lines, Spider-Man, be alright. So, let's start with the blue color. I think that'd be good. Okay. You know, it's gonna be an interesting blue. It might not be the actual blue. All right. So I'm kind of leaving some spot for some light on the top here. So I'm gonna leave some parts open. Do my best to kind of stay in the lines. As you can see, I'm kind of taking some of the paint down here, and we're just borrowing it. You know, we just borrow. All right. Take some more of that paint. Come over here, but you know, I think I can get a little bit. Get a little bit wet. Just get a little bit more. That's a good amount. You know, and this is just the first layer. We'll come back, we'll add some more blue. Things popping here. Okay, so far so good. And we kind of switch brushes. I'm gonna go for a skinnier brush here just so we get some more precision. Now I hope this is a good red. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of mix a couple colors together. Maybe we'll get a little darker red. That looks good. Let's start on this foot. Yeah, I'm liking that. Alright, I'm just going to kind of gently fill in some parts here. You know, we'll just do the first layer. Alright. I think once you start coloring things in, then it starts to look like it, you know? Hey, I recognize that character. Even though he looks a little silly, I still recognize him. coming back in over here. Coming back. Coming back. Alright. You know, some parts seem just a little bit darker. It just means there's more water and more paint. You can spread it around. Spread it around. Alright. Looking pretty good. Just a little bit more. Alright. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. We're going to let this dry a little bit. We can't forget about our little belt over here, though. Our little spider friend. Okay, not too bad. Get a little bit more. Just a little bit more color. Alright. Keep adding more and more red to make things darker if you want. Alright. Pretty good, pretty good. Now let's start with some trees. Let's add let's go brown here. Trusty brown. I'm just gonna remember which parts are pretty wet still. Alright, let's see. Alright. Seems like it's a little bit wet over here, so we're just going to stay clear in that zone for a little bit. Even though the brush can't help itself but go over there. Just little gentles, just a little gentle. Take a little bit from there, bring it on over here. Alright. Just trying to be careful here. Alright. Alright, now the paint's a little bit gonna be darker. Didn't use as much water, so that's what I want. I want some good hard shadows over here with the brown. Get back over there. Now we can get a little bit of water, kind of push it around, blend it. Get another bit. Ooh, no, that's fun. See, when you get paint a little bit dry, you can kind of do the same thing with the ink. Kind of get these cool, little bubbly, dry brush textures. Yeah, that's looking nice. It's looking real nice. And kind of add some over here. Alright. Maybe a little bit over there. Maybe just a little bit of texture over here. Alright. Let this dry for a little bit. You can add some more brown. Alright. I'm gonna get some green. Get a little different green from what we used earlier. A little bit more lush green. Yeah, it's like a good... Here's a good Spider-Man cover where he's in the trees. It's a lot of this green in the background. I think it's great. I'm trying to recreate something kind of like that. Spidey in the jungle. Alright, we got the top area. Let's kind of get the bottom. Oop, that's dark over there. We're just gonna leave that alone. Maybe we can kind of still get some in that corner anyways. Alright, good job. And we kind of go down here. Yeah, I like it. And now we can kind of fill the background. I guess we can kind of do a yellowish green. Why not? I think that's kind of fun. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. We'll just say it's the deep, deep jungle. Looking pretty good. Now we can kind of get this yellow. Just get a little clean here. Whoa, shaky. add it on Spidey here. A little bit of sunlight comes through the trees. We can pretend. Let's see if I can add some on the tree here. Alright. Add some color into these trees. This is looking great, everybody. I'm glad we were all here together to do it. Now that that's kind of dry, we can kind of come back. We can do some darker blues. Just a little bit more depth. Alright, this is looking cool. It's looking cool, everybody. Wow, wow, wow. We did it. We did it, friends. Get a little signature here. Boop, boop. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. This is going to wrap it up for the night. Let's tear it off. Get a closer look. Wow. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. All right. Well, we'll do more drawings like this next week. Maybe we'll do a giveaway next time. Appreciate everyone sticking around. So, see you next Sunday.
Until next time.